Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. In this video we're going to show you the installation of the new TST Industries Fender Eliminator and integrated taillight system for the Honda CRF250L. In front of me on the table you see all the components of the kit made specifically for this bike. As you can see, the taillight is a slim form factor compared to this light. It has all the functions of the taillight and signals integrated into one capsule. It is plug and play, one plug, snaps right in, and you're good to go. The bracket system is comprised of 2 steel brackets, and that fastens onto the taillight with 3 screws that are provided for you, and that whole assembly gets installed on the bike. When I do this installation, not on video, it takes me about 5 minutes, so that'll give you the gist of just how easy it is. The taillight itself comes in 2 forms. One is a smoked lens, and the other version is a clear lens. That's basically just an aesthetic thing, and it's up to you to decide. When you install one of these in your bike, you're doing away with incandescent signals, so you will likely need an LED flasher relay if you don't want to wire in the provided resistors. We sell this part separately. It is a $18 component, and it reduces the time of installation vastly, and it makes for a very professional installation, so I recommend this product. The Fender Eliminator system is modular, and it only comes with what you see here. If you'd like a license plate light, we sell this separately. It's our stealth license plate light. It's very minimal. You don't see much of it except for the light. The light output is very, very bright, so I hope you consider buying this in conjunction with all these parts. Now that I've said all that, let's jump on over to the bike and start the installation. All right, so step 1 will be to remove your license plate and retain the hardware to be reused on your new setup. Next, we will need to use 6mm Allen to remove 4 fasteners, 2 on either side of the bike. And take note, these come out with these shoulder washers. You want to make sure that you retain them. And now the seat should come off by sliding it towards the rear of the bike. Now we need to dislodge this panel here, and it does have push fasteners that engage with rubber grommets, so you just pull them straight out. And now this panel should be free to come off. Now that we've gained access to the wiring, we will undo this cable management clip, free our wires, slide the boot upstream, and now we have access to all these plugs. Let's go ahead and remove all the plugs. The blue and the orange are signal plugs. These larger white plugs housing the green wires, those are grounds for your signals. These are redundant and will not be reused in the new installation. Here I'm using a pair of needle nose pliers to disengage the lock. The 3-conductor plug here is your main taillight plug. And now there's a secondary 2-conductor plug that makes the connection for your license plate light. Now that we have all these freed, we can remove these 4 fasteners. 2 of them are 10mm head, 2 of them are 12mm head. And now the 12s come out. As I undo the last one, I'm going to support my fender so it doesn't drop off the bike. And just like that, we can ditch this thing. All right, so now using a Phillips screwdriver, we will pre-configure this assembly in this order. As you can see here, there's a big slot that is meant to fit the grommet of the taillight. And then on this component, you also have that slot. So that'll just key how these components are assembled onto the taillight. Just keep in mind that from the side, before you put the screws in, it should be in this configuration. So we actually put in slots here instead of holes, and that enables you to move the taillight up and down to adjust it to your liking. I typically like it all the way down. Once we place the screw in there and align it with the boss on the back of the taillight, we can engage the threads, but I don't bottom them out just yet. There are 3. I'm just going to engage them and allow myself some adjustability. And I have to make sure that you actually penetrate the screw through this bracket, and then into the taillight. Alright, so now this is still movable and this is still a little movable. So I'm going to pull this down. This is your side orientation. This goes up, taillight goes down, and this goes down. And you just hold it in that configuration and then start tightening down the screws. You are screwing self-threading screws into plastic bosses. This is a pretty robust method of fastening as long as you don't over tighten them. We use Plastite screws that do not vibrate out with road vibration, so you don't have to really lock them down that tight. You just have to make sure that they're bottomed out and give them a quarter turn. All right, so now this configuration is ready to go. One last part I want to do is use the provided small zip tie through a set of slots here around the wire. Like so. And then up to the top. And I'm going to engage this zip tie, but don't tighten it down. That step will be left for the end of the installation. All right, so now this is ready to go back on the bike and get screwed down. So let's hop on over. Now back on the bike, I have to make a special note for the 2017 and up CRF250L and Rally model. We do require a special sub-harness adapter that is included in the specific kits for those model years. This will couple our taillight plug with the plugs that are found on this harness. So there's a 2-conductor plug I showed you guys that goes to the license plate light. That is a separate installation. The 2 large white plugs are also redundant for this installation. We will not be using them. We will fit 3 conductor plugs together. Make sure you hear a snap. And then I'll plug these guys in. For some reason I reversed them. I will get them back around when I test the system. Okay, now we're ready to install the main chunk here. We do provide 2 of these larger washers for this portion of the installation. 2 screws that have the 12mm head that we removed during the removal of the OEM components. They get reused in this location. I thread them in by hand. And I'm gonna grab a ratchet handle and get these guys bottomed out. We won't tighten them just yet. I'm gonna preserve a little bit of adjustability. All right, we have a little bit of adjustability left in this system. I want to make sure everything is center, and then we have a choice of making it go towards the front or rear of the bike. That really depends on your taste and how you want it to come together with this panel. For simplicity's sake, I will just push it forward as much as I can before I start deflecting these pieces. This will ensure that my enclosure of the tail light doesn't cause any gaps on the side. And now I will tighten these guys down all the way, grab my torque wrench, set it to 18 foot-pounds, and finalize this bolted connection. All right. Now let's plug the main plug of the tail light into the sub harness and test the system. All right, we're looking good here. And it looks like I've reversed the signals, so I'm just gonna undo my plugs from the blue and orange female plugs and reverse them. All right, so what you're seeing here is the hyperflash situation. We've done away with incandescent light bulbs for the signals. We're using LEDs instead. They draw much less current, and they're throwing your OEM relay into a hyperflash condition. So you could either wire in the resistors that we've provided with this taillight using the directions that we've provided on a printed sheet with the taillight, or you could change the flasher relay to an LED type that we provide as an optional item. We'll have a separate video going over that. For now, I will just continue with this installation. Get all the mechanical fasteners down. I'm gonna finish zipping down this wire tie. I'm gonna push a little bit of it towards the taillight and make sure that we're not straining the wire connections. And this wire tie will serve as strain relief. I'm gonna trim off the excess here. So for the purpose of this installation, we will not be installing a license plate light. That installation is captured in a separate video that we have on our website and our YouTube channel. I will just mention to you guys that that light will be wired into these two wires on this plug. You can also choose to reuse the female side of the plug from the setup that you've taken off if you want a true plug and play connection. Just a little tip. All right, this looks nice and neat and well protected. All right, we're looking good here. We can go ahead and reinstall the parts in reverse order of disassembly. Now we can replace these fasteners with the shoulder washers. As you turn these in, I recommend that you seat the shoulder washers first and then bottom them out. Otherwise, you're running the risk of crimping the plastic parts as you tighten down on the thread. One additional note that I want to make is that those 12mm head bolts that are holding this setup to the subframe, I recommend that you use blue Loctite or some sort of a medium thread locking compound on that connection. These bikes do see a lot of road vibration, so it's good practice to use a thread locking compound on those bolted connections. All right, so I'm gonna power up the bike for you guys one more time, go through the functions. I want to fix the hyperflash later, show you guys that in a different video. So you can see it took me just a couple minutes to get rid of the big bulky fender and weird looking taillight and replace all that with this really nice minimal yet still super bright setup back here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoy working on these. I hope to hear some comments from you guys. Please drop them below in our comment feed. Besides that, I'm done. I hope you guys will check out tstindustries.com where you could see more information about this product and see some other products that we provide for this bike.